We bowl off with cricket tonight. A big hitting Kinnar Lewis hammered a half-century as New Intrep's Lions roared to victory in the cool and smooth T20 explosion last night. The details from Jack Matthew.
Lewis, a 27-year-old Jamaican, cracked a 42-ball 61 before Lions won dramatically off the last ball against All Saints Pythons at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. The right-handed opener clobbered 4 sixes and 5 fours to pave the way for his side's 2-wicket success at 162 for 8. Casey Carty completed a good all-round performance by claiming 3 for 19 in his quota of 4 overs. Kerry Mento also accounted for 3 victims, but his allotment cost 38 runs. Carty earlier lashed a boundary-studded 96 to lift All Saints to 161 for 6. Batting at 4, the Leeward's middle-order batsman hit 8 fours and 6 maximums. Medium-fast Kyle Mayers snapped up 3 for 25 or 4, but pacer Nino Henry was the most economical with 1 for 20 in his quota. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
Well, the Hero Caribbean Premier League and the Cricket West Indies have agreed to move the tournament window for the 2019 tournament to avoid a clash with the international series against India. The change was made at the request of the Board of Control for Cricket in India because the West Indies international players would not be available for the tournament. The CPL will now take place from September 4th to October 12th. The full schedule of matches is yet to be released, but games are confirmed for Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, embattled Indian business tycoon Vijay Mallya will not have ownership of Barbados Tridents for the upcoming CPL season. Sharif Sargent explains why.
CPL Chief Executive Damien O'Donoghue says the league was in the process of wrapping up discussions with the relevant parties. O'Donoghue adds that new owners should be in place before the players' draft scheduled for May 22nd in London. Mallya is currently fighting extradition from the United Kingdom to his native India. He is wanted by authorities to face alleged bank fraud and money laundering charges amounting to nearly $1 billion. His mounting legal and financial woes have also impacted the franchise, with players yet to be paid in full for the 2018 season, which wrapped up last September. Sharif Sargent, ABS Sports.
Batting legend Brian Lara has given West Indies an outside chance of winning the World Cup, but consistency must be the order of the day. Here again is Jack Matthew.
Speaking at his residence at Chancellor Hill in Port of Spain, Lara, holder of the record individual test score of 400, gave the regional team the dark horse billing for the tournament. The Trinidadian warned that the Caribbean men could struggle in the World Cup's new format. The new system requires the 10 teams to play against each other in round-robin matches before the semi-finals. Lara suggested that it would be tough because having to play 9 matches for 4 spots, inconsistency could be a bit of a hindrance. Regarding the squad, the ex-Windies captain agreed with the selection, noting that there were several game changers available. He referred to the likes of Andrew Russell and Chris Gayle. Lara is fancying India, who are ranked 2nd behind England in the ICC's ODI rankings, to capture the title. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
Now to a story that is being talked all around the world tonight. The Court of Arbitration for Sport has dismissed Caster Semenya's appeal over IAAF testosterone regulations. The South African has one of the various genetic conditions collectively known as differences or disorders of sex development, DSD. The regulations will force athletes with naturally occurring high levels of testosterone to take medication to lower them if they want to continue competing. Now, the 2-time 800 meters Olympic champion responded to the decision with a statement declaring that the IAAF's regulations always targeted her specifically. The 28-year-old is considering whether to appeal against that decision. Now, CAS found that the rules for athletes with DSD were discriminatory, but that the discrimination was necessary, reasonable, and proportionate to protect the integrity of female athletics. The proposed regulations will only concern athletes competing in events from the 400 meter to the mile. Semenya will have to begin medically reducing her testosterone levels within the next week if she wants to compete in the World Championships in Doha, Qatar in September. Now, yachts will return to the high seas tomorrow after today's traditional Lay Day. The day afforded sailors the opportunity to take a break from the competition and engage in land-based activities. When sailing resumes, Sojana will seek to stay ahead of the fleet. The British yacht is poised to capture the grand prize in the big boat category. Now, expectations are that Antigua and Barbuda will do well in the 7th annual 12 and Under Caribbean Junior Invitational Tournament here this weekend. Assistant Secretary of the National Tennis Association, Diane Hillhouse, says many of the players are fresh from participating in a higher age group in Barbados and Trinidad.
6 of the players have been to tournaments overseas. As a precursor to this event as well, and they were playing at a higher level. They were playing on the 14, while this event is on the 12.
The 8 representatives carrying the Twin Island States flag will include Zoe James, Asha Hussam, Sanjita, and Janet George, Alexander, Sydney Kentish, Justin Rayburn, Jubilee Christopher, and Anaya Francis will be the other Antiguans on show at the National Training Center. All are from the Halcyon Tennis Club. Going forward, the association wants the net to widen.
What we want to see is not a lopsided view of tennis in Antigua. We would want to see participation from the different clubs, and even if we can have some players coming through from the school's tennis program, whereby they can develop into a performance setting so that they can compete not only in Antigua but overseas as well.
Joining the hosts will be 6 territories: St. Kitts and Nevis, Martinique, Suriname, St. Bart's, and separate teams from Trinidad and Tobago. The opening ceremony will be on Friday, and play will serve off on Saturday and conclude on Monday. Still in tennis, Tian Kernan dominated the Cool and Smooth Inter-Schools Mini Tennis Championship on Tuesday. They were undefeated in singles play, winning a total of 7 matches and going on the 1-1 in doubles action. Tian Kernan's Caden Edwards and Devontae Norris produced the most outstanding performances, serving to 6-1, 6-love victories. In basketball, Kennedy's Autos Coolers cruised to victory in ABBA's Division II play last night. Despite Carl Simon's 39-point explosion, Coolers wrapped up a 73-62 win over CDC Cristo's KAG United at Autos. Israel Polinario and Danny Perez combined for 42, shooting 22 and 20 respectively. Over at JSC, Curtin Bluff Olo Daggers just managed to bring down Global Bank Hawks 74-72. Tash Harris finished with 16, but the game-high effort came from Buell Henry of Hawks with 24. There was also Division III action in a low-scoring affair. Ramco Medicare Fearless Crew outlasted Otto's Matthews Vikings 39-31 at Otto's. Fearless Crew's Ralph Spooner shot 12, while Jaheim James sank 18 for the losers. Well, young female golfers here in this country are beneficiaries of a gift from a golf enthusiast. Sasha Dean has that story.
Boxes of golfing apparel have been handed over to the National Junior Golf Program at Cedar Valley. Owner of First Tee Travel Agency, Paula Mullins of California, made the presentation to President of the Antigua and Barbuda Golf Association, Avery Jonas. The brief ceremony took place on the 18th green at Cedar Valley. The 4 boxes contained 13 ladies' golf visors, 17 skirt sets, a combination of skirts and shorts, 15 ladies' pants, and 22 shorts and long-sleeve golf shirts. Mullins says her aim is to encourage the female players to reach for the stars. Sasha Dean for ABS Sports.
And finally, in UEFA Champions League action today, Lionel Messi's 2 second-half goals included a stunning free kick, earned Barcelona a 3-0 advantage, and left Liverpool with an almighty task in their Champions League semi-final second leg. The Reds were in the ascendancy despite going behind to Luis Suarez's first-half strike, but they were then hit by a double sucker punch from Barcelona's number 10. The Argentine forward followed up Suarez's shot that came off the bar for his first, but his second goal was majestic as he found the top right-hand corner from 25 yards out, his 600th goal for the Spanish Giants. Liverpool came agonizingly close to a potentially crucial away goal when Roberto Firmino's strike was cleared off the line before Mohamed Salah's somehow struck the post rather than scoring with the follow-up. So Liverpool have it all to do next Tuesday when they meet Barcelona at Anfield for the return leg. That's the sport.
You know, Jurgen Klopp said Liverpool were going to suffer today, but they would have chances. And he was like clairvoyant. He was absolutely right. They did suffer. They did have chances, as Terry said.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't take them.
The English teams, like they forgot their shooting boots home.
Uh-oh.
My Spurs and now to Liverpool.
You're still griping, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm telling you. I'm still. But listen, persons, like people were saying that Spurs have a hard task going to Ajax and scoring a goal. Now, Liverpool have an impossible task of going through to the final, being down 3-0. But they're playing at home. That is the good thing.
Anything can happen. I wouldn't say impossible. It might be improbable, but not impossible. We shall see. But anyway, Sharon, Ali's team is out of it from a long time, so she doesn't have to worry about it. Manchester United was totally out of it.
Okay, I still sing my same song. I'm proud of my guys because where we started and where we ended up, I bet you both of you didn't think we were going to even end up that well. And so I am proud of my guys. There's always next time around.
There you go.
I mean,
Exactly.
But
have the same
next time
winners.
you're going to have a challenge reaching the Champions League next year because you have to end up in the top 4 of the EPL this year. Will you end up in the top 4? We should say, Sharon and Terry, before you come back with your thing, Ali sings well, and Ali sings better than all three of us combined. Ali will perhaps need to sing for us one of these days, Glory, Glory, Man United. Because she's really taking up Man United.
It's coming.
Nice.
That's a deal.
And also here at home, lay day today, but tomorrow we're going to pick back up a sailing league, right?
Yeah, certainly.
Tomorrow?
And I bet they were. I hope that I wish we would have got on camera over there because there's always some fun activities that they will engage in on Lay Day over at Pigeon.
But we will be there tomorrow, certainly.
Absolutely.
All right. Wait a minute. I got something to show you guys, of course. And this is breaking news. You got to check this out.
Oh, breaking.
The inaugural ABS Games to be held in December of 2019.
What?
This is the type of game you can expect to see. Either it's the camera operators versus the news reporters in this game, Capture the Cone event, or the general public versus the general manager. Listen, you never know what you're going to see at the ABS Games come 2019. This game, of course you see this one, you probably see the donut game or the t-shirt game or the fig tree trimming game. You never know what you're going to see at the inaugural ABS Games, December 2019, when it comes around.
You're speaking it to debate.
That is breaking news for you guys, okay?
That's breaking news for the GM too, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen.
I'm like, I didn't hear about this before.
I'm the self-designated games coordinator.
Self-designated, I heard.
Self-designated games
This is
coordinator.
me. Come get Terry.
2019, you happen. Listen, I know she's gonna back me with this one, okay?
This is me. No.
There you go. We shall see. Mrs. B, over to you.
Majority rules. Majority rules, and the three of us say no.
No.
All right, here you go. Sharon, finally time for Ali.
Exactly. Hi, Ali.
Hi, everybody.